Hello, I'm Danny Boyle. I wanted to talk to you about 28 years later. It's shot in a format, 276, which is wide, and it's a peripheral vision thing. I'm going to talk about why we chose that format and why we want you to see it in that format. But before any of that begins, there's this, which is small enough to fit in your pocket. And it's the only thing in this space that is small enough to fit in your pocket. It's the script. And it often gets forgotten, but it's actually the most important thing out of everything, really. Some people would argue casting is more important, but to me, I'm a traditionalist, and I think the script is more important. It's a wonderful script by Alex Garland. And he wants you, as a director, as you take over the script, he wants you to explore it, expand it, to investigate it, is the word he uses. And the beginning of that process is over here. And this is a selection of some of the storyboards that we use for making the film. And this is where you begin to expand. You get to actually describe some of the images you're imagining in Alex's script. The importance of another huge element in the making of a film like this, which is location work. So we drew up this image, which is described as the top of the hilltop, where a character called the Alpha arrives. And on location, we're able to shoot without any digital manipulation at all. It's a pure image that's available to us where we shot. We wanted the landscapes that we used to be as pristine as possible, because for 28 years, there's been very little human activity across the UK. So the fields are undisturbed, untended. And you'll see in this that in order to achieve that, we used drones to shoot so that there was no footprint at all. So the guy who's recording this on a Ronin is leaving a footprint. His feet leaves footprints. It's just inevitable. And crew tend to, it's always a problem filming on beaches or in snow. You know, the crew inevitably, and then you reveal where they've all been and you have to clean it up and everything like that. So we wanted very, very lightweight cameras so that we could do that. But we wanted this landscape, this 276 widescreen approach. And that creates a tension between quality and flexibility, really. You want the quality that gives you this extraordinary peripheral vision with the images beautiful to look at. You can select any section of it that you want to look at, but you want the flexibility that you can go anywhere quickly and be able to shoot like on virgin territory. On the original film, 28 Days Later, we'd used very simple domestic video cameras. They were everywhere at the time, and we thought, if there was an apocalypse, an instant apocalypse, they'd be literally lying in the streets. And if you were a survivor, you could pick them up and you could still see, what had been recorded. And it would probably be evidence of what had happened or something deeply moving, like the last images of someone, of their children. So we thought that's a wonderful format to use it on. It was very challenging because it was very poor quality back then, but it suited the grit, the griminess of that film that we were doing. And we thought on this film that we were going to try and use something that's become ubiquitous in all our lives, even more so than video cameras, domestic video cameras were back then, and that's the smartphone. Now, this table is a smorgasbord of how you adapt the use of small cameras in order to make a feature film. Because you have this enormous tension between the ambition of this widescreen format and a small device, highly flexible, very little footprint that you can move around very easily with. You need a great cinematographer in order to bring those two tensions together. The wonderful Anthony John Mantle is here as well. Come in, Anthony. You can talk us through some of these.
I had to kind of spread this out and work out how to guarantee you imaging that was good enough for the film and also reckless enough and unusual enough. And we ended up with a gadget like this that, even though it is very simple, my dear focus pullers can still control the image if they need to, and there's an anamorphic front lens on it, which gives a spectacular spread of imaging for the cinema. And that's the consumer system that we use. We had to switch off stabilizing, which meant I had to work out a way of holding this so it didn't wobble around and shake up and aggravate either Danny or the whole image as such. So we use gimbals of different kinds. This is the second version, which is called the it's still very light, doesn't weigh a thing, called the adapter version, which is a combination of the smartphone, an intermediate stage, which converts this sensor into an imaging sensor capable of receiving a PL lens. That means a mainstream lens. Could be a lens, could be a lens as big as that or small as this, anamorphic or spherical, with filters, with matte boxes, with stability, with focus control, with basically the control you need for some shots in a English summer in Newcastle or Northumbria, where the light tends to fluctuate 7 stops in 7 minutes, and that's what we have to deal with when we're shooting. So we're out in the wilds with these tools. They come with, eventually when we finished prep, we had capability, focus capability. We had telescopes that was one of the most recent additions to our package, which is basically, again, a smartphone upon which we place a telescope the size of a car. And that was very difficult to use, but fun to use. We had droning. This is FPV drone. It's quite unnerving for a drone. They have to put this on, and then the picture appears here. And the thing's out there flying at 45 miles an hour straight towards a A-list actor's face. And you just have to live in trust. But I love that, and I wanted to use that a lot because as a very important part of our palette, it's not just like the drone, the god's POV. I wanted him to work within the actors as much as possible and become like a very dramatic character, as in DB do every time we place a camera and we move the camera, linear or whatever.
So this is an array of 20 smartphones on one synchronized board, if you like, which allows you to photograph a scene inside it, like me inside it, and give you a real sense of 3D. It literally, you overhear the word immersive, but this is an example of it. It puts you right inside it, really, because it changes the simultaneous perspective at any point, if you like. And we are not allowed to show you that use on this video because YouTube won't broadcast it, apparently. None of this matters, of course, because what we want you to do is to go and see the film. And what's important is that your relationship with the actors and with the story. But we did want to show you how we try to create a landscape that's worthy of your attention. So I hope you enjoy the film, and I hope you can delve into some of this maybe afterwards.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.